Hello dear viewers of Your Voice, my name is Tech Stephen Good, and today in this episode we are glad to be joined by Honorable Elizabeth Enoka Lubang, the chairperson for Committee of Service, which includes Gender, Health and Social Welfare, Joburg State Legislative Assembly. Honorable, welcome to the program.
Thank you.
Moving on to our stories today, we have three stories. The first one is about adoption of children in South Sudan. Number two is about street children and women empowerment. But let's begin with the first story, which is about adoption of children in South Sudan. Before I ask you the questions, let's see some stories that our reporters compiled. And we start with the adoption of children in South Sudan. Mary Abraham, a housewife and a mother of 6 children, has decided to add an extra child to her family. She did this by adopting a baby who was abandoned by her mother at a local police station in Juba. According to Mary, the baby was neglected by her mother for lack of capacity to feed her and raise her, an excuse which Mary described as lame and irresponsible. She rescued the baby after the mother threatened to kill the child if no one came to her aid. She said she adopted the baby without formal procedures, a move she considered as an act of humility and humanity just for the safety of the child. Mary emphasized that she wishes to follow the right procedures, but no one seems to be interested in the case until now. Cliff Ochaya has more.
A mother like Mary Abraham adopted a child from Moniki Police Station in an informal procedure. Mary now wants to complete the adoption process, but she finds this not easy because the police investigator is so elusive. Mary says the abandoned child's mother said she could not afford food for her baby and herself. That's why the desperate mother subsequently attempted to kill her baby.
I took this child from Munuki Police Station on 4th March 2019. She was brought with her mother by 777 Police Service from New Side Police Station because the mother said she doesn't want this child because she has nothing to feed this baby. That was on 3rd March of this year. Up to now, it's not easy for me to finish the legal process of child adoption because the police investigator is repeatedly asking me to come tomorrow.
This one finished from Uganda is back.
According to Helen Boro, who is the director of Confidence Children Out of Conflict organization, says South Sudanese child can be adopted, but admits the adoption law has been dormant for so long a time. Helen explained the process of adoption of a child, says a person willing to adopt a child should express the desire and interest in a written form. The written document is then presented to any orphanage center.
Who is at your home? Do you have a wife or two? Does she know you want to adopt? Is she happy to take this child on? And if the child is taken to that family, will the child be accepted, be sent to school like any ordinary child? When we are happy about that, then we continue with the process of the adoption. We bring in the legal advisor. From our side, the government also have their legal advisor on what steps and procedures are being taken. At any time, this can be dropped. If we find that what you are telling us is not true, we can drop the exercise of adoption.
According to South Sudan's Constitution of 2011, Article 17, Section 3, is stipulated that all levels of government shall accord special protection to orphans and other vulnerable children. Child adoption shall be regulated by law. Clive John Ochaya, Your Voice, SSBC, Juba.
Well, Honorable, you have seen the report there about child child adoption rather. As a lawmaker at the capacity of the State Legislative Assembly and as the chairperson for Gender Specialized Committee in the state, do you think Mary did the right thing by legally acquiring that child?
Thank you very much for this question. Indeed, Mary has that heart of fear, because one day the mother may come back to pick her child. So the procedure is not done in a legal way. The procedure is that when you need to adopt a child, you need to apply to the ministry, and then the ministry, they will assign social workers to go to your family to see if really you can handle the child in a very good manner. The capacity, the financial capacity, and the surrounding of the family, and those people even who are there in the family, the social worker need to see them first before you take the child to your house. And then after that, when the ministry accepted that you should adopt the child, now you need to have a legal document from the Attorney General, so that if one day the mother came back and then she decided to demand for that child, you have now the legal documents within your hands so that you can protect the child, that this child is yours. So Mary, she's right, because she don't have the legal documents in her hand to protect her and even to protect the child.
Yes, you have correctly explained the procedures, but in this situation, Mary is trying to save the baby, because as we've heard from the story, the mother of the baby threatened severely to kill that child if nobody come to adopt the child. Was she wrong, or?
She's not wrong completely, because of that heart of a mother. You know, a mother, we are caring for people, we are caring for our children. By threatening the child that you want to kill the child, this is now a mother. And then Mary, of that heart, she want to rescue that baby. She brought the baby to her family. And if you follow the story carefully, she has more than she has six children. And this is a burden to her. But because she had that heart of caring for a child, she took the child even before assessing the situation, how the financial situation of her family, and even if the surrounding will accept the child, she didn't bother about that one. But she just picked the child because she wanted to take care of the life of the child, and to rescue the life of the child from that mother who threatened to kill the child. And so now there are two scenarios. The scenario number one, she's trying to rescue the life of the child. And the scenario number two is that she's fearing now. Maybe one day
the mother will come
back and decide to claim the child, that this is my child, because you don't have the legal document. So Mary now, she needs to be assisted. She needs to go to the Minister of Social Welfare so that she can be assisted on how to follow the right procedure of adopting the child.
Let's take a look at our second story, which is about the street children in South Sudan. And here in this story, street children have increased to an alarming rate across and around our roads in Juba City. Some people attribute this matter to the rising cost of living as a result of economic crisis, while others blame parents for not taking care of their children and teaching them morals of life values. Whatever the case is, these kids roaming the streets are surviving under appalling conditions. Some are forced to steal, abuse drugs, indulge in criminal activities to survive, or as a result of being under influence. The question is, who is to blame for this social menace, and whose responsibility is this? Emmanuel Juma has more.
Street children is one of the phenomenon commonly found at the street and markets of Juba City. Many reasons force those children to dislike parental house due to other loss of their parents or economic crisis in the country to get food for survival.
Now we are sleeping here at the market. We are buying ruminant food with 50 SSP. Some of the restaurants are giving us for free. What I want to say to the government, to open a vocational training so that some of us can be engineer, some of us can be the other things, because we are the future of the country.
The life at the street changed their behavior by pulling them to become thieves and drug abusers. Confident Children Out of the Conflicts is only organization in South Sudan offering protection to the street children and orphans by providing educational support, food, and medical service.
We also provide education support, so if they are willing to take their kids to school, we pay the school fees. Those who are really vulnerable, we bring them to the center here. We first of all screen them on their health issues. Then we provide them food and the protection in terms of appropriate place to sleep, maybe 3 meals a day. We refer them to special services if they are medical services or psychosocial support. Later on, they also have to go to school.
The United Nations Sustainable Development Goals demands that people who are vulnerable, including all children, must be empowered and conformity with international law to remove obstacles, surrounding support, and meet special needs. Emmanuel Juma, your voice, SSBC.
Yes, Honorable, you have seen the second story, which is about the street children. Once again, as a government official at the state level, what is the role of government in ensuring that these issues are addressed, be it at the state level, at the Legislative Assembly level, at the National Assembly level? How can it be addressed?
Thank you for the next question. I think the issue of these children now these days is as you have said, is very alarming. If you just come out early in the morning at around 6 o'clock, because I used to go for my sport at around 6 o'clock, you will find the number of street children around Juba area, the number is very alarming. And even it is a threat to the citizen. Those children, these are from all the state of South Sudan. Because one day even we called one of the people from the ministry, and they have done a little survey to see the number of people, those children who are around the street of Juba, and they have found that those children who are loitering around the market in Juba town, all these children are from the former 10 state of South Sudan. And you can see the number. They are ranging from a small one, from 5 years, you can find a child from 5 years, up to the adult, who are 18, for example, 20 years, all of them are there. And it's really very challenging, and it's threatening even the people at the state. And sometimes you find them moving in the night, during the daytime, and they are even, these are people who can pick money from pockets of people. You can find them, even they're busy at the bus station. They have their own agenda there in the bus station. And
the other factor is that the fact that they are now engaged in drugs. These drugs can make them cause criminal activities.
Yeah, a lot of criminals are taking place in Juba.
So now, how do you come in to serve this issue?
Okay. The Minister of Social Welfare, as I have said that I will be working with that, we have homes. Sometimes these street children can be taken there. But imagine the number is very alarming, and even the centers are very few. We have a center for child. It's called CCC.
Yeah.
And we have another home at Nyokuren West. These are all homes who are taking these street children. But you can see the number, how the number is very, very big. And these two centers or street centers in Juba, they cannot accommodate all these street children.
Okay, and then now, quickly, Honorable, does your institution, your department, you are the chairperson for the Committee of Service, which includes gender and child social welfare, which includes these children. What type of support do you offer to these children, whether be it on the streets or in these homes? What kind of support do you?
Now, at the state level, we don't have any support to be given to the children. We are dealing only with how to legislate laws. Help the Minister of Gender to come out with laws, to legislate laws to protect the children. And right now we have the Child Act, which is an instrument on how to protect the children in South Sudan. So taking care of the children as a committee, we don't have that mandate. Our mandate is only to legislate laws to govern the institutions who are taking care of the children.
And these institutions you have in Juba State, you have the...
we have the orphanage center.
You have the ministry.
We have the ministry, we have the orphanage center, we have the child protection unit.
Are they continuing to...
Yeah, they are continuing, they are continuing with their normal duties.
Okay, let's move to the next story, which is about the women empowerment. And in this story, as the saying has it, that empowering a woman is empowering the nation. Mama Amal Bol is portraying this idiom on a daily basis. After undergoing various technical trainings in handcrafts in Khartoum more than 10 years ago, Mama Amal is now training other women in Juba on how to make bedsheet designs, beads, cultural ornaments and traditional jewelry crafts. Speaking to Taban Juma, Mama Amal Bol said, it is her time to give back to her fellow women and empower them to be independent and strong women.
In South Sudan, women and girls are confronted with tough challenges of daily life. Mama Amal Bol, who has been trained by the Episcopal Church of Sudan Women Empowerment Program in art and craft skills 20 years ago, while she was an internally displaced person during the South Sudanese struggle for independence. Mama Amal said after she completed her 3-month training, she became a trainer at the Episcopal Church of Sudan Women Empowerment Program. She was trained on bedsheet design showing beads, decorations, and reflections of various traditional identities and women perform making known as humra.
The training was after the women had completed their various training activities and had been supplied equipment according to their various specializations. Trainees were also awarded certificate of recognition for them to engage effectively in labor market.
بدوكن الشهادات وبعدين بدوكن الحاجات اي زول اللي عملوا في المهنه بتاعه بيدوها كده للنسوان.
Mama Amal Bol questions South Sudanese women against hopelessness despite all the difficulties they are facing in their daily lives. She encourages women to start practicing business with whatever little resources they can mobilize.
بقول لنفسي انا مثل لكن أنا كبادي بحاجات أنا فيه ده بتمنى لأي مرة.
I hope every South Sudanese lady will think and practice small business. I'm not calling them to reach immediately where I am. Let them not think they cannot achieve their dreams for lack of resources. It is important to focus on the reality that it takes time, courage, and patience to progress in any life career. God will eventually reward a patient and steady worker in his or her venture.
For many South Sudanese women, like Mama Amal Bol, who grew up in a difficult environment with little regard for girls' education, they found themselves with only chance of learning vocational skills so that they would be able to support their families. Taban Juma, your voice, SSBC.
Well, Honorable, you have also seen a story of women empowerment. These centers, how important are they for capacity building and empowerment of women?
Yeah, those centers, first of all, let me say Mabruk to Amal. Amal, she has been doing a lot of work, and even I knew her from Khartoum, what she's doing for women, encouraging women how to empower themselves, do small income generating activities so that they can support their families, support the nation even through these small activities. So women empowerment is very important for women, because without empowering women, you will find that the family is very weak. The family is very weak because one hand cannot clap. So really we need to support ourselves so that we support the nation and support our family and even support our children. If we empower women through all these centers, knowing how to do these handcrafts and to make bed sheets, these are income to the family. These are income to the family, generating income to the family, supporting the husband. And if you support the family, supporting your husband, you are supporting the nation. So by empowering a woman, it's very important aspects through these centers. And these centers really, they are doing a great job to empower the women at the grassroots because these women, some of them are even dropped out from the schools. They are not there. But when they support themselves through these handcrafts, they will be able to generate money for themselves and even to support their family.
And are you, as a government institution, not only at the Legislative Assembly level of the state, but as government in general, do you offer support to such centers?
Not to that extent, but there are some organizations and NGOs who are supporting women at the grassroots level, how to support themselves through these small income generating activities. Like sometimes the women union, they used to train women of how to make these handcrafts and how to make beads and how to make so on. So even the hair plating, they also do it. So they support women also how to support herself through these income generating activities.
Apart from such centers, what are the other best ways to support women in capacity building?
Yeah, the most important part of this is that women, they should organize themselves. This is number one. If you organize yourself into groups, and then you have an executive body, and then you have an account in the bank, there are certain organizations who are dealing how to support women, so that you can apply also for a loan, how to support this small organization. Like there is an organization in Jubanabari which is called Kurukawate. This Kurukawate these are a group of women who are working together. They have their own constitution, they have their own executive body.
But will the support always be coming from non-state acting groups like NGOs?
Yes, yeah,
the
they're
role of the Ministry
if you
of
have the
Gender,
legal
which is the
documents,
government,
they have the legal documents, they do support. They do support. Yearly, they do support the women who are organized in their groups. They do support them, or they're giving them some loans of money, so that they can also boost with their income generating activities.
Because of the time factor also, now picking up from there, we've put a question to the city residents of Juba regarding the issue of human rights and women's rights, to understand how much people understand about this topic. Let's take a look at this compilation of what the people on the streets understand by the term human right and, if necessary, women rights. So this is a compilation of a footage that our reporter put on the streets.
أنا بفهم عن حق إنسان المواطن الجنوبي وفي العالم كله over the world لازم إنسان يكون عنده حرية. حرية الأول من ربنا، حرية نمرة 2 من أبوه وأمه، حرية نمرة 3 من حكومة، كان في مدرسة ولا ما في مدرسة ولا في محل شغل، وأمني واستقرار.
I exercise my right in other things, but actually for our present situation in the country, there's other things where you cannot exercise your right because things are not in place. Things are not the way they are supposed to be. Human rights can be accessible to everyone when the law and the regulation of the country is enforced on everybody. That's where you can access your right as any other individual, any other citizen in the country.
And human rights, we have the right to access everything in the environment. Human rights, mostly we women, we are supposed to take in all as the men. There should be gender balance. We should be allowed to work like men.
When we talk about human rights, that is a right that every person has. You have a right to eat, you have a right to education, you have a right to life, and you have a right of your life. Yes, that's why we mean that is the right. One of us, most of the citizens don't know the rights. And when we talk about human rights, it confuses us in one way or another. So human rights need to be taught so that every person know the meaning of human rights.
Yes, Honorable. So many people have given different definitions about human rights and even women's rights. From your own perspective, as we conclude the show, what is women's right and what is human right?
Human right and women's right, they are all the same. Okay. These are rights, all rights given to human beings. There is no differentiation between that. But,
so what are the rights that women lobby for?
Now, for example, women are lobby for the inclusion in the system of the government. Because we know since we have been born in this society, the culture say that women should not given that right. You are not supposed to speak in front of men. You are not supposed to be taken to the school. You are not supposed to be do this and this. So women have been restricted. So now women having know their right, they are coming out from that stage that they are moving out so that they should be accommodated in different level of the government. And this will not happen unless we take all our girls to the school.
And this,
because without education, we cannot achieve.
And this is a role that you as a
This
legislator
is the challenging now.
is pushing.
The challenging part of it that most of the women are not educated. So in our last assembly, we have the Girl Child Education Bill Act. In that bill, there are some articles in that bill that if a man impregnates a girl in the school or elsewhere, he should be taken either to the prison or should be punished. This one at least will give a chance to the girls so that they can complete their education, and then they will be there in this 25%. Otherwise, without educating our children, we will not have that chance to accommodate women in this 25%.
Are these policies passed? And are
it's passed, yeah, it's passed. But we have our issue is that the implementation. We have it now right in our hands, the Girl Child Education Act. By then, it was Central Equatorial State. But the law says that all the laws, they are workable.
And finally,
even if it is Central Equatoria, it is
because of time. Finally, your last definition for human right.
Yeah, human right. These are the rights for human being since the beginning, since the day of your birth. And there are some rights you can inherit them, and some rights have been given. And even some rights, if they are given, they can be restricted also in other difficult situations, like during the war. There are some rights which are restricted.
Thank you very much. And as we conclude, we leave you with the definition of human right from the United Nations, which says these are rights inherent to all human beings, regardless of race, sex, nationality, ethnicity, language, religion, or other status. Human rights includes the right to life and liberty, freedom from slavery and torture, freedom of opinion and expression, the right to work and education, and many more. Thank you very much, Honorable, for giving us your time and discussing this issue. Thank you very much. And this winds up our program of Your Voice with me, Tech Stephen Ugut. Till we meet again, goodbye.
Thank you.
Thank you.